Ponniyin Selvan is a 2400-page 20th-century Tamil historical novel written by Kalki Krishnamurthy. Written in 5 volumes, this narrates the story of Arulmozhithevan, one of the kings of the Chola Dynasty during the 10th and 11th centuries. Kalki Krishnamurthy finished the novel after nearly a period of 3 years and 6 months of writing, and he visited Sri Lanka 3 times to learn some information to write this novel. Historical background: Ponniyin Selvan is a historical novel that centers on a number of real historical characters and incidents. The oldest evidence that is available on the Chola dynasty is about the Chola king Kalki Krishnamurthy and then many other kings after him such as Kilivalavan, Nedunkili, Perunkili, etc. After this, the trail runs cold and resurfaces as Rajaraja Chola I once again established the Chola dynasty after defeating the Pandyas and the Pallavas. Rajaraja Chola I was the founder of the medieval Chola dynasty. He conquered the country from a vassal chief of the Pallavas, and established Pazhayari as the capital of the dynasty, which was later shifted to Thanjavur during the rule of Sundara Chola. His son and successor Aditya I conquered the Pallavas and the Konga country. Later, under the leadership of his son Parantaka I, the Cholas acquired a dominion which foreshadowed the greater empire of Rajaraja and Chola Chola I. Parantaka I won victories over the Banas, the Gangas, the Pandya and the king of Ceylon. This fact and the extent of his conquest are known from his inscriptions. Towards the end of his reign, or before his death, the Rashtrakutas under Krishna III invaded the Tamil country, killed the Chola prince Rajaraja at Takkolam in c. AD 948, and seized Tonde Nadu, which they ruled for about a quarter of a century, confining the sway of the Cholas to their ancestral dominion comprising the modern-day Thanjavur and Tiruchirappalli districts. The names of the next 5 kings after Rajaditya are known by various historical evidences. Gandaraditya, a great Shaivite, whose son was to become the famous Madhurantaka. Gandaraditya was, however, not a great king, and the enemies of the Chola kingdom began to rise again at the end of his reign. Moreover, both of his brothers Jathiva and Aranjaya could not be crowned after him, as the former was already dead and the latter was expecting his end any moment. So Aranjaya son Sundara Chola or Paranthaka II as he was formerly known, became the king after Gandaraditya. Aranjaya Chola died at a young age at battle. He was the father of Paranthaka II, who ascended the throne after Gandaraditya. Parantaka Chola II, though later fell fatally ill as his legs were paralyzed. He was the proud father of Rajaraja Aditya Karikala and Kundavai. Aditya II was the elder son of Parantaka II and was the heir apparent of the Chola dynasty after Paranthaka II. But before he could ascend the throne, he was taken by death due to the treachery. He is killed in Kadama Mela Kadama Samvarao Maligai. Madhurantaka, officially Uttama Chola, was the son of Gandaraditya and Sembian Mahadevi. Though he did not wish for the crown, it was thrust upon him by Rajaraja and his friend Valavarayan Vandiyathevan. He ruled for a period of about 12 years, after whose death Rajaraja ascended to the throne. Aditya Karikalan II reconquered Tonde Nadu from the Rashtrakutas a few years later. He was a great warrior. He performed many heroic deeds in the battlefields of Seva and beheaded the long-elusive Pandya king Veerapandya. On Aditya's death, the succession was disputed as one community of the Chola Empire. Most of the nobles and subjects preferred the popular Prince Arulmozhithevan ascend the throne, but he himself was in favor of his uncle, Madhurantaka Uttama Chola, becoming the king. At last, Arulmozhithevan tricked Madhurantaka into accepting the crown. After him, Arulmozhithevan Rajarajan became the king in AD 985. His reign brought unparalleled glory and greatest fame and prosperity to the imperial Chola Empire. Ponniyin Selvan was the sobriquet given to Arulmozhithevan. Ponni was another name for the Kaveri, and Arulmozhi was the darling of the Kaveris in Ponniyin Selvan to all his people. The original title of Arulmozhithevan was Rajakesari, later Mahmudi Chola Rajaraja. He was the second son of the Parantaka Chola II alias Sundara Chola and Queen Vyanamuradevi. Rajaraja had an elder sister, Kundavai, and an elder brother, Aditya Karikalan. He had a high regard for his sister, who spent her later life in Thanjavur with her younger brother, and named his first daughter after her. Who later, inspired by his sister, built the world-renowned Brihdeswara temple known as Periya Korvil. Kalki unregistered trademark s. Other sources were stone inscriptions, copper plates and other books. There is a stone tablet in the Great Temple of Thanjavur which has the following inscription, Oe the revered elder sister of Rajaraja, the consort of Alavarayan Vandiyathevan, Azwar Paranthaka Kundavara Euro. The book History of Later Cholas has a 5-line reference to Vandiyathevan, a Bana prince, a real historical character, who is the hero of this novel. The names of the conspirators also came from a stone inscription. Ref. Sadasiva Panda author. A lot of the information about the activities of various kings came from inscriptions like these as well as copper plates like the one found at Ambil. The Thiruvalanadu copper plates state, the Chola people were very keen that after Sundara Chola, Arulmozhithevan should ascend the throne and rule their country. But Arulmozhithevan respected the right of his uncle Uttama Chola, the son of his grandfather unregistered trademark s. older brother, Gandaraditya, to the throne and crowned him king. Plot summary: the story revolves around Vandiyathevan, a charming, brave and a brilliant young man who sets out to the Chola land to deliver a message to the king and the princess from the crown prince Aditya Karikalan. The story shuttles between Vandiyathevan's travels in Chola country and the young prince Arulmozhithevan's travels in Sri Lanka. The narrative deals with attempts by his sister Kundavai to bring back Arulmozhi to establish political peace in a land seemingly getting besought with unrest and signs of civil war, plotted by vassals and petty chieftains. Parantaka Chola was succeeded by his second son Gandaraditya as the first son Rajaditya had died in a battle. At the time of Gandaraditya's death, his son Majuranthaka was a 2-year-old child and hence Gandaraditya unregistered trademark s. brother Aranjaya ascended the throne. After Aranjaya unregistered trademark s. death, his son Parantaka too, was coronated. He had 2 sons, Aditya Karikalan and daughter Kundavai and the youngest son Arulmozhithevan, the later known Rajaraja. When the story starts, the Emperor Sundara Chola is ill and bedridden. Aditya Karikalan is the general of the Northern Command and lived in Kanchai, and Arulmozhithevan is in Sri Lanka in battle, and their sister Kundavai Pirati lived in Chola royal household at Pasharai. The story is set in motion, when rumour starts that there is a conspiracy against Sundara Chola and his sons. One person who gets a glimpse of the Pandya conspirators is a warrior, the Vanakula Veeran Valavarayan Vandiyathevan, at the palace of his friend Kandhamayaran. It is through Vandiyathevan that we meet most of the characters in the novel, such as Arulmozhithevan, the prince whom all the people loved, and Periya Pashavetaraya, the chancellor who married Nandini when he was 60. During his youth, Aditya Karikalan had fallen in love with Nandini, but she turned vengeful after Aditya Karikalan killed Veerapandiyan and vowed to destroy the Chola dynasty. We also meet Kundavai Devi, who after hearing the news of the conspiracy sends Vandiyathevan to Sri Lanka to give a message to Arulmozhithevan to come back immediately. Besides these, there are other characters like Majuranthaka, the man whom the conspirators want to crown king, the son of Gandaraditya and Anuruddha Brahmaraya, Sundara Chola unregistered trademark s. Prime Minister, and the man who has eyes and ears everywhere. But the most wonderful character in the book is Brahmaraya unregistered trademark s. by Azhwakadayan Nambi, who roams around the country challenging for debates. He collects information for the Prime Minister and is always around Vandiyathevan, rescuing him during trouble. There are some lovely and adorable women too, like Venethi, Kudumbala princess who is in love with Arulmozhi. Poonkusholi, the boatwoman who rows the future king from Lanka. Mandakini, the deaf and dumb stepmother of the original Majuranthaka Chola and the aunt of Poonkusholi. Most memorable among these is Nandini, whose beauty is said to have the power to influence any man. Manamigai, the sister of Kandhamaran, the Kadamba prince, who helps Nandini without any knowledge that she herself is the conspirator, and Kandhamaran also turns against Vandiyathevan, his best friend. In the meanwhile, with Poonkusholi's help, Vandiyathevan reaches Sri Lanka, meets Arulmozhithevan, and becomes his close friend. In Lanka, Arulmozhithevan realizes that his father had spent some time in an island near Lanka and had been with a girl born deaf and dumb. He meets her and realizes from her drawing that she and his father have had 2 children. Who are those children and do they have the right to the throne? Later one day in Thirupurambayam forest, Vandiyathevan sees Nandini and the Pandya conspirators place a small boy on a throne and take a vow in front of him. Who is this boy and what right does he have to the throne? While coming back from Lanka, Arulmozhithevan is caught in a cyclone and goes missing. Rumor spreads that he is dead, but he survives and stays at Kodamani Viharam to get cured from a deadly pneumonia, a Buddhist monastery. Then slowly the dispersed family starts assembling. The conspirators meanwhile choose one day in which both the king and both of his sons would be assassinated. Nandini, meanwhile, calls Aditya Karikalan to Kadamba Palace to discuss about the future of kingdom. Though Karikalan knows that his life is in utter danger, he goes to Kadamba Palace despite warning from his grandfather. Aditya Karikalan was then assassinated there. It was debated till about the assassin, for which Vandiyathevan framed as victim. Arulmozhithevan in the meantime recovers from his illness and returns to Tanjore, where he was forced to crown and he accepts to get crowned initially. Later he tricks everyone and crowns his uncle Utama Chola. Thus gets the 5th part name as Chiaga Chigaram. The story ends with the uneventful death of Manamigalai in the arms of Vandiyathevan, whom she loved the most. The author also included an epilogue, which gave the historical facts about the main characters involved in the plot. Main characters: Valavarayan Vandiyathevan, Arulmozhithevan, Kundave, Nandini, Poonkusholly, Aswakadayan Nambi. Family tree of the characters. http Ponniyin Selvan in announcements. Ponniyin Selvan characters family tree. Other characters: Sundara Chola I, Vanamadevi, wife of Sundara Chola, Aditya Karikalan, Pashuvetaraya brothers, Anuruddha Brahmarao, Kandan Moran, Santhanamudin in future called as Madhya and Haka Utama Chuza, Pariyapurati Samayan Madevi mother of Utama Chola, Venathi, Mandakini, Siglanichaya, Manimgalai, Thrikurvalormalayaman, Kudumbalapuriya Vela, Manthiriavathi Ravidasan and King Veerapandiyan's personal bodyguards. Karathriman who called as Pathiyakaran. Sequels. Copyright rules and their strict enforcement by the Kalki group dissuaded many writers from attempting a sequel. Nandhapurathdhunaorji by Vembu Vikaraman is one sequel in which the author uses different spellings for all major characters to avoid infringement accusations. The prequel of the Ponniyin Selvan is written by Dr. L. Kailasam in his novel Malakchalai Mangai. After nationalization of the works of Kalki Krishnamurthy, the copyright of Ponniyin Selvan ceased to exist. Many publishers now print the same book free of royalty charges. Balakumaran's Adama, published in the 21st century, is set several years after Ponniyin Selvan and depicts the life of Rajaraja Chola I during the construction of the Tanjore Brihadeswara temple. Balakumaran's Kadagai runs parallelly to Ponniyin Selvan, showing the lives of Ravidasan and his allies, and their fictional guru Banu Gopan. This novel depicts their association with Veerapandiyan, outlines Aditya Karikala's victory over Veerapandiyan and ends with Ravidasan avenging the death of Veerapandiyan by killing Aditya Karikala. Akilan's Vengain Mainthan 3 parts and Vikraman's Nandhapurathdhunaorji 3 parts provides the completion of Ponniyin Selvan. Adaptations and cultural references. Film. There have been several attempts to create film adaptations of Ponniyin Selvan, beginning with an attempt in 1958 by M. G. Ramachandran. Ramachandran cast several of the roles such as Valavarayan Vandiyathevan and Kundave, but later dropped the project for unstated reasons. Director Mani Raishnam also attempted to film a complete adaptation of the book for a 2012 release, but had to shelve the project due issues with the potential budget for the film and difficulty locating financiers to back the project. Stage play. In 1999 the book was adapted into a stage play by E. Kumaravel and was presented at the Magic Lantern Theatre in Bridgeton, Maine. The script's length was originally over 9 hours long, but was shortened into a performance time of 4 hours and 20 minutes and featured 72 actors on a multi-level setting. Chicago Tamil Sanjam successfully staged the play on May 4, 2013 in Chicago at Oswego East High School Auditorium. More than 900 people attended this monumental effort. The performance time was 3.5 hours and featured 36 actors. Again, the book was being adapted into a stage play at a grand scale by SS International Live along with Magic Lantern Theatre Group in Chennai, in June 2014. The crew includes Kumar Raval, who penned the screenplay and dialogues, Thota Tharani as art director, Preethia Thriya as costume designer and Bainu leading the makeup and hair styling department. Pravin directed the play. Television: an attempt to turn the book into a television serial was made by Mekal TV, but was ultimately shelved. Translations: there are at least 3 different translations of Ponniyin Selvan available in English, by Indranila Megam Kove Karthik Narayanan, and an ongoing one by Pavithra Srinivasan. Audiobook: there is a Tamil audiobook, done by sriavisdiv.com, and it is available for download in iTunes and Amazon for a fee, or for free in Tamizh10. See also: Kalki Krishnamurthy, Great Living Chola Temples, Rajaraja Chola, Cholas, References. Balay Subramanian, Kunav Oil. Udayakuji Inscription, Varalaru, External links, Ponniyin Selvan, Complete Novel in Tamil Wikisource, Ponniyin Selvan in Google Books, Ponniyin Selvan Varalaru Perave, discussed extensively about Ponniyin Selvan novel, characters, facts and fiction. Also discuss other history-related topics related to India. Ponniyin Selvan with original Maniam pictures. Ponniyin Selvan published with original pictures of artist Maniam by Vaikatan. Kalki's novel as Tamil audiobooks by Sri Srinivasa. Details on Kalki's novel Ponniyin Selvan, Shivagamian Siddhartham, Pathhiban Kanavan audiobook MP3 format, Ponniyin Selvan novel a pub-free work. Details on Kalki's novel Ponniyin Selvan, Shivagamian Siddhartham, Pathhiban Kanavan a pub and Kindle format.